Good morning. We are delighted to be here to celebrate the ribbon cutting on this extraordinary project to improve Winthrop Shore Drive. My name is Leo Roy. I'm your DCR Commissioner, and Hollywood couldn't give us a better backdrop for our event today. And the nice thing, with no sun, we won't be squinting for the photographs, gentlemen. So this is all good. The DCR manages on your behalf nearly 500,000 acres of land, from Winthrop Shore all the way out to the western part of the state, to the beautiful Berkshires, to Mount Greylock, down to Bashbish Falls, all the way north to the New Hampshire border for Salisbury. The campground there at Salisbury is one of many campgrounds we have, representing some 3,500 campsites for people to enjoy across Massachusetts. I'm always shocked that people think about going to Maine or New Hampshire or Vermont when in the state of Massachusetts you can go from the shore to the mountains in just 3 hours. And all of this land belongs to you, the people of Massachusetts. There are 3 things that are extraordinary about this particular project that we're going to celebrate today. The first is our extraordinary partnership with the town of Winthrop. The second is the improvements we're making to the resiliency of our shoreline through this project. And the third is the extraordinary work of the DCR staff that brought this project in under budget and 9 months ahead of schedule. For a government project, ladies and gentlemen, that is extraordinary and deserves a round of applause. First, our partnership with the town of Winthrop. Since I've been your commissioner for about 2.5 years, I've made numerous visits and spent a lot of time in the Robert DeLeo Senior Center, hearing from the citizens of Winthrop the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we've gotten through all that because what we've accomplished here is a number of tremendous things. We worked together on a partnership for the ferry. As many of you know, the Winthrop Ferry stops at Squantum Point in Quincy, which is a DCR facility. When we were first approached by the town, we enthusiastically embraced this idea of trying to get people off the roads and to Boston and other points by way of water. Tremendous partnership. Just the other day, we celebrated the ribbon cutting of the wonderful boardwalk at Belle Isle Marsh. Again, a tremendous partnership project with the town to provide additional access and universal access for people of all abilities to enjoy that extraordinary resource that we share with the town. The partnership couldn't be stronger. I'm sorry that a relatively new town manager, Austin Faison, couldn't be with us today. I've just met him at the ribbon cutting the other day, and I really look forward to working with him in the future. Our partnership with the town could not be stronger, and this is very important to the Baker-Polito administration. We realize that we in state government can't do it all alone, and so we require our partnerships with our municipalities and also with our nonprofit groups. I'd like to recognize Bruce Berman, who's here from Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, a wonderful nonprofit partner of ours that together gets thousands of people out to the Boston Harbor Islands, gets thousands of people enjoying our beaches, now that the beaches are clean and beautiful and ready for enjoyment by the people of Massachusetts and the millions of visitors who come here. The second thing that makes this project today's significance is resiliency. We in Massachusetts are accepting and appreciate the science that the climate is changing. The storms are getting more intense, more frequent. Sea level is rising. We have this record. So we know that as we look at our coastal infrastructure, we have to think differently about how we improve that coastal infrastructure than we've done before. So this project is one of the first projects done by the DCR to really embrace that and begin to make some changes. You'll notice if you go down the drive that it's pitched toward the sea. What a novel idea. So water splashes on and water splashes out. Imagine if you were on the deck of a boat and water came splashing over. What do you want? Big scuppers for that water to quickly get off the deck. And that's what we have down the drive, is big scuppers. And if you notice along the wall here where we're standing, the extra large scuppers. We know that in a storm, water is going to splash over this wall, and we want it to get out as quickly as possible. And that's what we mean by resiliency. We've also made a lot of access improvements to improve, again, the ability for all people of all abilities to enjoy this resource by changing the grades on the sidewalks, widening the sidewalks, and making a number of improvements here. This is the first of many resiliency projects that we need to do up and down our coastline to make sure that we as a state are prepared for the changes that come and the recovery from those storms as quickly as possible. And certainly, last but not least, is the dedication of the DCR staff that really worked on this project. And we, from top to bottom, Mike Galvin, Mike Driscoll, Jimmy Caputo, who's right here, who is the project manager for us, resident engineer Mike Vickery. Where's Mike? Mike's in the back there as the inspector. Tom Walsh is our regional manager, regional director here for the North, and Christine Doctoroff is also here. Also, Rob Lowell from our staff was very instrumental, and Jeff Parenti is here, our deputy chief engineer. This really was a team effort to make this project happen. As I said, extraordinarily on budget, ahead of schedule. It's really a testament to the dedication of the DCR staff. I think, as all of you know, these people care about these places as much as you do, and the attention to detail, cleaning the places, and really making them available for people to enjoy is really the important thing, work that we do at the DCR. We at DCR are committed to outdoor recreation. It's about getting people in the out of doors all year long to enjoy nature, the extraordinary resources that we have, but also to get that exercise. Just being in the out of doors lowers our blood pressure, reduces our stress, improves our outlook. That's why when you see people walking down Winthrop Shore Drive these days, what are they doing? They're smiling. They're greeting each other. And that's not just because they're residents of Winthrop, but because they're outdoors and they're enjoying the out of doors. We can't do this alone. We have an extraordinary partnership with those in the Massachusetts legislature, and you are extraordinarily well represented on Beacon Hill by both an amazing representative who is Speaker of the House and also your senator. At this point, I'd like to introduce the hometown boy, Speaker Robert DeLeo.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Barbara, I'm not going to be in today. I'm going to try to reduce my stress. I'm just going to stay out for the next 30 days just walking along the beach. Commissioner Roy, thank you so much for that extremely kind introduction. For the last 3 weeks, you and I have been together at various ribbon cuttings. I am available anytime you want to make improvements to our natural resources here that we have in my district or outside, and whatever that you may need. Thank you so much, and a sincere thank you also to Secretary Beaton, who couldn't be here today, who made this a priority. Obviously, Governor Baker, who did the same. And I just really want to thank the DCR staff for their efforts in making today possible, and all the folks that worked on this beach. I sincerely want to thank them for a job well done. Especially today, as we stand so close to one of the Commonwealth's best natural treasures, our coastlines, and especially for us here, Winthrop Beach. To my colleagues in the legislature, Senator Boncory, it's always good to be with you, and it's always great to have you as a partner. One of the things I was mentioning earlier is this, and Ron and I were mentioning this, I've been personally involved with this issue now for some 3 decades, since I think I was a member of the Board of Selectmen. And I can remember being at some of the Chamber of Commerce meeting and saying, we're going to get it done, we're going to get it done. So you have no idea how special today is for all of us in this town. And I thank the great people from Winthrop, especially those who live in this area, for their patience throughout. Senator Boncory, I'm sure when he speaks, will tell you that when I started on this beach, he was in the 2nd grade. Fifth, 6th grade? I'm sorry. So let's get that out of the way right now, all right? He always likes to say that. And I am so pleased to be joined by the by the president of the council, Ron Becky, who I served as a member of the Board of Selectmen some years ago. My great friend Phil Boncory as well, the vice president of the council. We're also pleased, I see, they have the former fire chief Larry Powers, DPW chief Steve Calla, police chief Sean Delahanty. Thank you so much for being here. Terry Delahanty, what am I doing? I just thought I got that. Bruce Berman, who was mentioned earlier, and the most important people who I mentioned earlier, the residents of our community, again, who've not only been patient, but have also come forward to the town with ideas in terms of how to get this done and how much they enjoy the beach and wanted to make sure that we got off the ground. Thank you to all the residents of our community. But after years of hard work, we are here to celebrate on an issue which I had mentioned, we've been working on for a number of years. Not only has this beach been updated, but our roads and our stormwater infrastructure has also been improved. And we've been lucky. We've been lucky to have partners in the state and local level over the years to bring this across the finish line. Thanks to the collaboration, I should also mention, with the MWRA, the DCR, and of course the town of Winthrop, our beach is now more accessible to those with disabilities. We have new lighting and water fountains, and I think trees are forthcoming as well. And we have this beautiful new park. Our shared open spaces are among Massachusetts' most valuable resources, and that is something we should never, ever forget. They are community gathering places, tourist attractions, precious ecosystems, and engines for local economies as well. So with that, this is a great day for our community. I'm so happy to be part of it. To everyone here who made this possible, thank you, and thank you for coming and sharing with us in this great day. Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you so much for your leadership on this issue of accessibility and open space, but everything you do for the people of Massachusetts each and every day. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since this has been a lifelong pursuit, Senator, I'm sure that you have a lot to say about it, but I was very pleased to meet your father just now. Oh, I haven't in my visits to Winthrop had that opportunity, and it's wonderful to see a tradition of public service in the Boncory family. You are very well represented in the Massachusetts Senate by your Senator, Joe Boncory.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you for being here. I join the Speaker in inviting you back anytime. Lately, as you come back, it's usually with a large check or with a big pair of scissors to cut a ribbon, and we appreciate the administration's and DCR's financial and otherwise commitment to our great community. It's great to see you here today. But I can remember when you started your tenure back in 2014 or 15 at the Bob DeLeo Senior Center. It wasn't always, we were greeting you with applause. You said good, bad, and ugly, but I only remember the bad and the ugly. But you handled it well, and we got through it, and look what we have to celebrate today. This is a beautiful area for recreation in our town. I can remember as a teenager growing up at 50 Steps, or the Green Bars as it was currently referred as, and I know the Chief of Police and Chief Powers can attest to you, this area was used as a different type of recreation back in those days. But thanks to the commitment of DCR, the Massachusetts Legislature, and the town of Winthrop, we see what we have today. And this has been a long project that the town has been very patient on. So I want to thank the citizens of Winthrop for their commitment to this project. It hasn't always been easy, but we can remember prior to 2003 and 4, when there were literally boulders washing up on Shore Drive, when houses on Shore Drive were not safe because of the debris that was coming over on storms. But through the last 10 or so years, 15 years I should say, we've seen this great commitment to this area. We've seen the streets become widened, the pedestrian safety become much better. Coastal resiliency is something we dearly keep safe in Winthrop. It's something we take very seriously, and it's something we're not afraid to put our money where our mouth is on. And that's due to the great leadership of Speaker DeLeo. And Speaker DeLeo is smart to get ahead of my young jokes. But I need to remind him that I was in first grade when he began advocating, not second grade. Just want to let him know that. But really, you know, not every town, as you can imagine, is receiving $16 million worth of monies across this Commonwealth. And it's due to his great leadership as Speaker of the House, his never forgetting where he came from, and his constantly advocacy for this town that's led to this sustained project over now almost 2 decades. And I want to thank also our partnership with the Town Council, the Town of Winthrop, President Ron Vecchia, Vice President Boncory, for their investment of resources, and I see DPW Commissioner Calla here, their investment of over $1 million for the water main that runs along this project. I want to say thank you. It's amazing what we can get done when we all work together. And everyone here is part of that working together. Everyone here is part of that collaboration. And everyone here should celebrate in this great asset that we now have, this invaluable asset to our community. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you, Senator. Appreciate it. Thank you, Senator. And again, thank you so much for your public service. Thank you also for noting the water line. I mentioned earlier our partnership with the Town of Winthrop, but we took this opportunity of this project to install a new water line down this road. Imagine the forward thinking, because many of you have observed dozens of projects where what happens? A road gets paved, and the next month, what do? They rip it up to put something in. So this time we avoided that problem by working together with the Town of Winthrop, planning ahead, and getting a wonderful new water line as part of this project. So that really is indicative of the teamwork and partnership we have with the Town of Winthrop. At this point, I'd like to introduce your City Council President, your Town Council President, Ron Vecchia.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thanks, everyone, for showing up today. Thank you for getting the job done. It took us a while, but it's done, and we certainly appreciate it, and I thank you on behalf of the citizens of Winthrop. But more importantly, I want to thank these two gentlemen behind me for their perseverance and their dedication to the community that we have here in Winthrop. Their dedication in getting our fair share and then some of the monies that it takes to do these types of projects. The Commissioner alluded to the Belle Isle Park that was opened up several weeks ago. These are the types of things that happen, but they happen with cooperation and they happen with some vision from our legislative delegation. You know, I want to speak a little about the timing. You were talking about you were in the first grade. You know,
You can't say that.
no, I can't say that. But I can say this. I grew up on the beach. I was the beach boy. You know, some of the people from the center, some of them from the Highlands, some of them for Rainbow Alley, wherever the case may be. But I grew up on the beach. And trust me, this is the best condition the beach has ever been. For those who complained about, you know, maybe it doesn't look the greatest on this side, well, ask the question to homeowners that live on Shore Drive, how this has been a godsend to them. Last January, we had several northeasters that were the worst that Winthrop has had in many, many years. There was no flooding up here at all, and that's what it's all about. The beach is coming back. There's more and more area. As you can look down here, you can see more sand. You know, Mother Nature works in strange ways, and it'll bring back more of an area for people to enjoy the beach. But certainly, the protection of life and property was number one in terms of nourishing the beach, and it's really worked. Again, thank you, Commissioner. Thank the Governor and the Lieutenant Governor for their support of all the different projects that have happened in Winthrop. Just keep them coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. And indeed, Mother Nature does seem to have the last word, but we're trying to have a more engaged relationship with her here on the beach as we look toward the future and the future resiliency of this beach. This is an extraordinary resource that belongs to the people of Massachusetts, enjoyed by the people of Winthrop. But as I mentioned at the outset, there are many other parks across the Commonwealth that belong to you. While you enjoy this beach and recreational facilities around, I encourage you to go visit the central part of the state. Go out west. Go down to Bashbish Falls in the southwestern corner of Massachusetts. These extraordinary natural resources belong to you, and they're part of the outdoor recreation mission and the commitment of the governor and the lieutenant governor to continue to invest in our recreational facilities and our critical infrastructure to keep Massachusetts the place where people want to live. These parks and these recreational facilities contribute to the quality of life and the reason we all love Massachusetts. Thank you for being here today. I hope that we see continued success by the Boston Red Sox. I'm so glad you were here this morning. We all had a late night and will for the next couple of nights. But go Sox, and I hope that you find yourself in a DCR park. Thank you so much for coming. And now, gentlemen, if you'll...
All right, Ron, get your hands on these as well. Everybody here? All right, so what we'll do is put them here, and first look up and smile and say, Winthrop! Winthrop! And then on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Hey!